How's it going? My name is Jeremiah with From Field to Plate. Now, I posted a picture a while back of a beautiful cinnamon teal that I had shot out here in Southern California, and a lot of people started hitting me up saying you should get that duck and send it off to the taxidermy. That you should get it stuffed, that you should get it mounted, you should do all this other stuff. Well, I'm not big on wasting meat. I'm not big on just sending a beautiful duck like this Drake mallard. Gorgeous color. I'm not all about just sending this duck off to be taxidermized and lose the meat. I mean, duck hunting is expensive. If any of you have ever duck hunted, you know that not only from your blind reservations to your ammo, but the gear you wear, the face paint you put on, all that stuff adds up to a lot of money. So to take this beautiful duck, gorgeous duck, and send it off and spend another $250 to get it stuffed without eating the meat, to me seems pointless. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to teach you how to take the meat out and skin it just like the taxidermy would do. So you can eat the meat and still send the skin off to your taxidermist to get it done. Now it's super simple. You only need a couple little things. I'll move on inside and I'll set it up on the table. You'll be able to see it. But this beautiful duck, this beautiful mallard, will be sent off to the taxidermist with no meat on the inside. Now I'm not teaching you how to do taxidermy yourself, how to taxidermize it yourself, how to stuff it yourself, however you want to call it. I'm teaching you how to take the meat out so that you can still eat this meat and send this skin off. There'll be things that your taxidermist will do, like take the skin or take all the fat off on the inside. They'll remove the head if you want the head removed. If you want to keep the beak, they'll do different things to do it. They'll keep the feet on, they'll do all that kind of fun stuff. But my goal today is to teach you how to take this breast and this body out and leave it in perfect condition that your taxidermist will look at it saying, perfect. And when they're done, it'll look just like this on the outside. So any questions, comments, concerns, comment down below. I'll be able to answer them for you, but hopefully I'll answer all that in a later video. All right, let's get on this. Seriously, this is a gorgeous duck, and I cannot wait to eat it. I mean, look at the color on this thing. Whew! He's ready to eat. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. First things, you really only need two tools to do this. First tool is going to be a really sharp knife. I prefer to use my Havalon with a brand new blade on it. Havalon makes phenomenal knives. Easy to change out blades. They have a really cool new blade changer that I just changed the blade on. Check them out. But this is going to be super sharp. Be able to cut through with one slice rather than hacking at it. Again, a really good pair of kitchen scissors or clippers or whatever else you have. When you're going to start out, you're going to put the duck breast side up. As you can see, we're also going to make sure that everything is nice and loose. So you're going to make sure that your wings are loose, that your legs are loose, because sometimes it's been sitting in your fridge, sometimes it's been sitting in your freezer. So you're just going to go ahead and work those around and make sure that everything's nice and loose. So when you get in there, you'll have no problem getting in there and getting stuff together. All right, so now that we've loosened all the wings, we've loosened the legs, we've made sure everything is good, we're gonna take our super sharp knife. Again, I'm using the Havalon. I'm using it with the 60 blade. You get a bunch of different blades in there with a bunch of different knives. I prefer to use the 60 XT when I'm doing taxidermy because it's got that nice sharp point edge. They do make some other ones with some rounded edges which work out really, really nice as well. But for this one, pointy, sharper is the better. What you're gonna do is you're gonna find the top of the breast, right there where the wishbone is. You can feel it, that's that V. If you imagine a bird breast as a heart, right? You're gonna find that top of that heart, which is right here. You're gonna go all the way down and you're gonna find the bottom of the rib cage, the bottom of that breast. So that's about there. So usually where the color starts all the way down to about here. You're gonna take your knife, you're gonna find the center of that breastbone. You'll be able to feel it. Two sides of the breast, center of the breastbone. Find one side to go on. You're gonna take your knife in there. You're gonna cut down. Now don't worry about cutting into the breast, because again, we're gonna take this meat all the way off. You're gonna go all the way down that bottom of the breast. Now if you notice, I cut into the breast, which is completely fine, because again, we're gonna take that meat off. We're not gonna worry about keeping this duck whole. Our goal is just to get the meat out and send this off to a taxidermist. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of take your finger, you're not gonna pull off this down. and you're gonna see right underneath this layer of fat where the skin is, and you're just gonna go ahead and go right on top of that. Slowly pulling it, trying not to pull any feathers off. You might get a couple feathers that come off because of your first initial cut, or some of that underdown, which is completely fine. But as you can see here, all that fat layer and that skin is still there, but your delicious meat is coming right off of that. So you're gonna continue to work that all the way around, getting down into that fat, getting down in there. Here's the bottom of that breast that we were talking about that you could feel. Beautiful meat. Cannot wait to eat this. Again, you're gonna work this all the way around, exposing that breast. Once you get that cut, you can kind of work your fingers in there and put the knife away so you don't worry about cutting it. And you're gonna run your fingers across, separating the skin from the meat. We'll do the other side, same exact way. Get that meat off of that fat and off that skin. Once you start your initial cut, you can take your finger again, like I said, and shove it all the way down in there. Now you notice, beautiful feather still on the outside. If I was to close this back up, you really couldn't tell, especially with a really good taxidermist that you're using. Work that all the way around, break off all that loose skin. Be gentle. Now this guy was in the fridge for a little while. I shot him yesterday, so he's nice and cold. I prefer to do it on a cold duck, not a hot duck. If you do it on a hot duck, it's just kind of more, all that fat. It's really slimy and skinny. So you're gonna roll your thumb around there, break it all off, expose all that stuff. Perfect. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and we're gonna cut this tail away. So here's your breast, here's all the meat we want. Your tail's gonna come into here. Work your finger around, keep separating that skin off. We're gonna get all the way down to the base of the tail. Base of the tail is right here. Now this is a Drake mallard, so you will have the genitalia on there. You can deal with that. So we're gonna work that all the way down. Keep pulling that meat away. Get all the way down here. You'll be able to feel the tail, the tailbone. Okay, tailbone's gonna attach. You got your legs, your tail. Here's your tail. You can feel it on the inside. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your knife and you're gonna cut right inside there. Try to keep all the guts in there, otherwise you're dealing with all that too. If you have any tough areas, like got a little bit of, this guy's really, really fatty. Shot him up in San Diego County. Weather was in the 20s. So he's nice and fat, keeping himself nice and warm. All the way down in there, get all that fat off there. Now you're gonna go underneath. You can actually put your finger underneath there. Pull all that away. As you can see, I'm all the way underneath him, but you can't see my fingers because I'm underneath there, okay? We're gonna cut that tail. Find that tailbone. You hear the snap, you'll be able to break it off, see that, all that good stuff. Next, we're gonna work on the feet. You're gonna go up here. Hopefully you can see this. When you move the leg, you'll be able to see the leg start to pop up. What you're gonna do is you're actually gonna take that entire leg and shove it up into the body. Shove it up all the way into the body. You can see the leg coming out right there. You're gonna pull the skin away, all the way down as much as you can, and then take your scissors and cut that leg, okay? Legs off, legs back. You can pull that leg back through, and now your meat is detached from your leg. There's your leg bone, there's your meat. We'll do the same exact thing with the other side. We'll find that leg over here. We'll shove that leg up through. As you can see, it's a little bit better on this side. Shove it all the way through. Get all that fat off there. Separate the meat as far back as you can up to where the orange is. Take your scissor. Cut it, cut that bone away. And that's what you have here. So now what I like to do is I like to continue it around. A lot of fat on this bird. Using your knife, carefully finish getting off that meat from the leg, getting off that meat from the tail. Rolling it around. Now, if you do have some spots where you did hit your duck, and there's holes, that kind of stuff, just be careful around them. Your taxidermist will be able to finish that off. Like this guy, he was flying up and away, so I've got some shots in the back of him. Just be really careful around him. Leave a little more meat if you have to. Again, you can see that I shot him in the back. There's a nice BB. So be careful around that area. Leave a little extra meat if you have to. Then we can come up here, come up to the top where the neck is, kind of pull that around. Then you're gonna get into the wings. You're gonna try to find the wing over here. I'll speed this up till I get to that part, okay? At this point, you can come back in here. You can finish taking off that leg meat, so you can use that. Come right into that back. Got another BB in here. Totally knew that's where I shot him. And now that that's done, you can kind of take your finger again, run it real carefully, pull that meat off of there. If you get to a spot that's stuck, take your knife, gently pull that away. All right, now we've got to that spot where the wing is. What you're gonna do is you're gonna come right in here. You're gonna find where that wing attaches. And you do the same thing you did with the leg. We're gonna push that wing up into the body. Then you're gonna take your scissors, carefully cut that wing bone. Take your knife, finish that off. There's your wing bone still in there with your wing meat. Now if you want to keep your wing meat, you can sit there and take the time to do it, but now you can pull this all the way around. Come right here, we'll find that wing again. Here's that little wing. We'll go underneath there. Cut that off, finish the meat a little bit. Continue to work that body around. At this point, you should be able to pull it all the way down to the neck. Okay? So here's our neck. Then you're gonna cut that neck as close to the body as possible. Okay? So what the taxidermist will do is they'll actually measure that neck. So cut it as close to the body as you can. Take it off, okay? So now what you're left with is a perfect shell of that duck, okay? Perfect shell. Now when the taxidermist gets in there, he's gonna finish taking out this meat. He's gonna take off all this fat. But this duck is ready to send off to the taxidermist. ready to be done with little to no effort. And here is that beautiful piece of meat that you now can cook. These breasts are delicious. They're huge on a mallard. You've still got these legs on here that you can cook down. You've still got all this nice, delicious meat. It's pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty basic. So a quick way to just kind of breast these out. Take that sharp knife all the way along that breast cage, all the way down the bottom. Find that wishbone over there. Follow it down. You'll see a nice fat line right here. That's the bottom of that breast. You can follow that fat line all the way down. One breast, same thing. Follow that fat line, follow that meat all the way down. The smell on this thing is amazing, by the way. I wish you guys were here to eat it with me. Breast number 2. Now you can sit there, you notice not much meat left on that. That was just a quick little breast out job for you. So there you have it. Meat to eat, feathers to send off, and bloody hands. Is there anything better?